This is Joaquin Lippincott, CEO of Toad, proud AWS consulting partner, here with Ian McPherson, who's the partner development lead for media and entertainment. It's a big job. Ian, welcome.
Thanks, Joaquin. Yeah, it is a big job. So my role here is I'm in charge of our partnerships with our independent software vendors in the media and entertainment space. And by and large, those are companies who have software that play a role in either creating, packaging, or delivering video.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wanted to be sure that we touch base and talk to you about the AWS media and entertainment ecosystem. So I'd love to start off, just if you could tell us about the state of M&E and how it relates to the cloud, that would be great.
Sure. Well, so I've been at AWS here now for about 6 years. My role is really to help cultivate partnerships with software companies who play some role in the creation, packaging, and delivery of video. And so in that time, we've gone from a time when people were asking me 5 years ago, can I just safely store my backup copies in the cloud? To one today where people are making full feature-length movies entirely in the cloud. They're building new platforms for customer engagement and video delivery. So it's been a huge transformation in the industry as we've seen people go from an on-prem bias to now one where cloud, not always cloud first, but certainly cloud is part of the discussion in lots of different areas that we affect. And so the state of the industry today is that companies are wanting to do more in a virtual presence with remote workers and with more interest in creating customer-centric experiences.
That's amazing. So 6 years is that's like ancient. I think in AWS cloud time, back then it was like sticks and stones, and now it's lasers and sharks, I think.
Yes.
That's really interesting. In terms of the just to introduce some AWS parlance, the ISVs that I think I'm getting it right, the independent software vendors, and then consulting partner, which is the two types of partners. So Toad, we're obviously a consulting partner, and then we're going to be talking to a number of ISVs. What do you think that the role of the ISVs versus the consulting partners is in cloud adoption?
Yeah, it's a good question. So if you think about our core business, I mean, we're providing the fundamental building blocks for moving large parts of IT to the cloud and for enabling DevOps and making sure companies can take advantage of the agility and increase in the time to the rate of innovation and shorten the time of innovation to get new products to market. In the media and entertainment world, so much of what has happened before and what is built is bespoke technologies for video delivery. And so while you can build solutions with our building blocks to address that, in many cases, our partners' ability to provide specific and recognized outcomes in a workload or a workflow greatly reduce the amount of time it takes to get that service stood up online or get that solution stood up online. But those things don't necessarily always fit logically together. We're doing a lot of these things for the first time. And so my job is to help those software companies understand how to leverage our tools to build effective cloud-based technologies and take advantage of everything from auto-scaling and containers to the security practices and elasticity that we can provide to our customers. And in our industry, and that really means we need the solution integrators and solution providers and consultants like yourself who can see all the pieces that we provide, all the functions our software component partners provide, and all the requirements the customer has for the system and the customer engagement. Take those together, optimize them, and deliver a solution. That's where you guys come in.
Great. Yeah, no, it's certainly been interesting, and I'm glad you mentioned auto scaling. That's I think that was first released like 5 years ago. So if you were designing or working on an architecture that's 6 years old, which doesn't seem like a long time, honestly, certainly for anybody who has kids, I mean, there's just that's so much time and so little time, it's changed a tremendous amount. How about you personally? How did you get involved in the AWS and the cloud space?
So, I spent a long time in Silicon Valley. I was a co-founder of a venture-backed startup, worked at a number of other startups, so I have a real strong entrepreneurial streak. I was always one to want to be on the side of the disruptors. And so the common thread through that included analytics applications, IoT applications, telco experience, and networking experience, was to see that in order for us to take the next great leap, especially when you're talking about the content world, it wasn't no longer acceptable to be constrained by the amount of time it took for you to procure new technologies, build something, test it, redeploy, iterate it with that previous model. Procurement cycles, budgets, all of those things. Raising company money as a startup, most of the money we raised went into capital equipment to go and then build it. You have the servers and the equipment necessary to deliver our first MVP. Now you have immediate access to always-on services that make it possible to only spend money on what you need to use, have everybody in their own environment be able to procure the services and solutions they need, and integrate those rapidly so that you can bring new products to market. That's such a tremendous transformation.
So thank you so much for joining us. If anybody has any follow-up questions, are there any contact members from your team if anybody wanted to reach out to
you?
Get in touch with you?
Certainly plenty of information available about the Amazon Partner Network at aws.amazon.com/partners.
Well, thank you so much, Ian, for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Joaquin. Have a great day.